Venom: The Last Dance came out over the weekend. Me and Kyle had a chance to see it. We was going to review it on Sunday, but Kyle was extremely hungover, so that's why we're doing it today. Yeah,
Well, I mean, we're doing spoiler talk, so we like to leave it after the weekend.
yeah.
Gives a
After the
chance
weekend
for people to
anyway,
see it.
get some
Yeah.
spoilers. Now, before we jump too much into this review, you could say, I just got my quick thoughts at first. Then Kyle give his quick thoughts, and we'll discuss it a bit more. Uh, I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think there was a dull moment in it, and I had a smile on my face the entire time. But it's still a bad movie. But it didn't bore me, and that's the main thing for me. If you bore me, I'm out. I had a fun time with this. Kyle, what are your quick?
It's funny you say that because that's kind of not exactly the same. Like this was a lot more fun in comparison to Joker 2, but that's where I was at with Joker 2. With this, you know, I didn't expect much from it. I was hearing all the stuff about all the Spider-Man things and Noel, and I'm like, I just I don't care. And this film clearly says out loud, it doesn't care too. It's just another great, like, I don't want to say great, but it's another great Venom film of this version of
It's
Venom.
it's a great version of one of these Venom films that we've been getting,
Yes.
which is what it. Yeah, it's look. I can't stress this enough. This isn't a. It's weird because I've praised it as well, and it's like, well, you're saying it's a bad movie, but you enjoyed it. You're allowed to like bad things. Now that sounds a bit weird, but you know,
Well, it's a case of entertaining you. Does it
yeah,
keep you entertained? Yeah, it does. You know, it's not like, say, for example, Morbius, where there was certain bits in that where it did keep us entertained because we were
yeah.
laughing at the film. But on this hand, it's kind of like, no, it embraces that and it keeps it going. It keeps you
It
smiling, keeps you
yeah.
laughing.
Best thing is it
The
knows what it is and
Yeah,
keeps on going. And
100%.
first time director as well, so that's all right. Uh,
Yeah,
you got to put it
it
into comparison
it
as
does.
well. You know, something like Madam
Go on.
Web came out at the beginning of the year, and that was just dull. You couldn't laugh at it. You couldn't. It was just dull. We were out of there. You know, one day we'll do a full review of Madam Web. We only saw 45 minutes of it. Now, this does get me.
I'm gonna say you're on your own for that. I ain't watching that.
This, funny enough though, this Venom film did get me excited for Craven for later in the year.
If Craven is able to, you know, be like how the Venom films are, where it's just dumb fun and it doesn't really mean anything, because look, I would have I would have loved these films to have been special and different, and they are kind of different in their own way, I guess.
Yeah,
But I would have loved it if they did something special with obviously the Spider-Man characters. Obviously they can't. There's so much conflict and things like that when it comes to Sony and Marvel and the rights to Spider-Man. So these films came out, and I thought, it's interesting. I'm down for a Venom film, but how far can you go without Spider-Man? Now, this film sort of, I feel like it does kind of backtrack on some of the story plots, in at least, I'd say in both the films, to be fair. So don't expect really sort of anything making sense here. It's just kind of, it feels like they're making it up as they go along.
yeah.
I gotta say the plot is probably like the most stupid of the three films. It's just got no sense behind it, and it somehow it kind of works. And like I say, it's not a great film. Like we say, it's not
Yeah.
it's not fantastic, but it's fun. I came back. I said to my mum, because she loved the first two Venom films, and I said, "Mum, just go see it because you'll enjoy it. It's still a fun film."
Yeah.
With that being said, Null getting his first live screen appearance. I know a lot of people were excited to see him. Obviously, full spoilers here.
Yeah.
He's barely in the fucking
He's
film, and
what, like a a minute and 20 of fucking screen time, probably.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what? I thought, when you see a lot of films where it's like, oh, the big bad, and he's never gonna win,
Yeah.
he's never gonna get unleashed or
Like I
whatever.
said, that stuff
So
should have
that's the
been at
kind
the
of,
end of the first Venom film,
yeah.
like a post
Well,
credit.
yeah. Well, it's that's the thing though. It's
But
like
hang on,
Null doesn't even break out.
wasn't Null just like he was briefly in a 4 comic in 2013, and then he was like first major appearance of 2018 anyway. So, and Venom
Yeah,
came out in 2018, so maybe you couldn't have done that at the end of the first one.
probably not. But I mean, again, it's just the thing of you just shoehorn this character to try sell tickets to the Null fanboys. Now, I'm not. I mean, I think Null's cool, but I'm not a fanboy of it. I
Yeah.
don't like. I don't. I just. I'm not a fan of it in general. But I was open. I was open to it. I was looking forward to see how they do it. I'm always a big fan. You'll agree with me. I love it when they bring a character on screen. It's like Deadpool when they bring that character on screen as it's meant to look. It looks good, but it just doesn't. It doesn't click. There's nothing. There's no meat and potatoes to the character. It's just he's
Yeah.
just there for the sake of it.
Now,
Um,
so, you're on about this kind of a letdown of a character in the film. A character I didn't
Yeah.
think I'd enjoy at all. Stole the show whenever he was on screen. Rhys Ifans says, what was his name again?
I can't remember it now.
Rhys Ifans' character was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I know there was a lot of secrecy around him, and people were sort of speculating it was like, oh, because he plays Dr. Connors in the Amazing Spider-Man films.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's got nothing to do with it. This is a completely different character. Nothing to do with that, and he's like, from what I've seen him in previously in other films, this was just fucking hilarious. And like you say, Colin, he absolutely stole the show.
Yeah. House of the Dragon's kind of where I fell in love with him and I was like, alright, this year. Obviously, he's done loads of stuff before, but that's when I started paying attention to him. But I've got to say, like, the standout moment from this film, I think we'd both agree, it was done quite well. As well. The symbiotes, all the symbiotes breaking free and all fighting the Xeno... whatever it is. Big fucking crab fucking monster that's...
He plays, sorry, Reese plays Martin. That's his name, Martin.
Yeah, Martin. When he's shouting to Eddie, he goes, Eddie, it's me. And he's like, Martin and family.
Yeah. It was good. It was great. But yeah, going on to that final set piece.
Yeah, the symbiotes was so good.
Yeah, because the whole premise was like they're trying to get to New York and Null's trying to escape the void or whatever. But none of that happens. Now, going back to what I was saying before, normally it's like they leave it until the very last and then it's like, it's like, oh no, he's escaped. We've lost now. We're not going to win. But somehow they managed to beat him. In this, they don't do that. They just kind of say and show a little bit, but it doesn't actually amount to anything. But I agree with you. Seeing all these symbiotes coming together, the CGI for all the symbiotes looked great. There was only a little bit of wonkiness, I think, in some parts of the film. It was like midway in the film.
Yeah,
that's like my only sort of like thing I can say about that. But they've really nailed the CGI for the symbiotes in this, man. And like you said, the action was really fun.
Yeah.
The pacing was it was quite quick, to be fair. It didn't feel like it slowed or slogged down, even in the slower parts. It was just, again, really entertaining.
Yeah, and look, I'm not saying it was great for a Venom film. I'm not saying this is the airport fight at Captain America Civil War or all like that. I'm not saying it's the bus fight on Shang-Chi. I'm not saying it's Cap's last stand in Endgame when, the portal scene happens. I'm not saying it's anything like that. But it was fun. And that's all you can ask for, really. With a film like Venom, you know what you're getting yourself in for with a film like Venom. And I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day. And I had not. I had lowish expectations for this. I was still excited for it, but I wasn't expecting a right lot. And it kind of met my expectations, so I wasn't let down by it. It just gave me enough to be a fun film. I didn't feel like I wasted my Saturday afternoon. I was like, that was fun. It was a good.
It was.
Good film, but...
You know, we got to talk about the Mrs. Chan and Venom dance.
Yes,
it was so dumb, premise wise and story wise, but it was great at the same time. It just, it just was so entertaining, so funny. This film has got a bit of heart to it. You know, I won't lie, it does have a little bit of heart to it. It's not overly so, but it's definitely, you know, it's kind of like they've been through this journey, and we've got to the end. We got to a trilogy, and it's amazing, you know, because look, Spider-Man, you know, he's had troubles getting to a third film, obviously, especially with sort of like, you know, The Amazing Spider-Man, and most recently, we're still getting it, but of course, Spider-Verse. But Venom has managed to dish out 3 movies, and they weren't great, but
they're all. It's a consistent quality though throughout, I'd say. You know, maybe some are better than others, but it's like it's still round about the same ballpark.
Yeah, I think they definitely sort of like, you know, they dipped their toes, I guess, or they, you know, with the second one they brought in some more of that comedy tone to it, compared to the first one, because the first one felt goofy but kind of serious at the same time. And it was like, you kind of need to pick one here and do it well. And it chose to go more of the goofy, funnier side in the second film, and it worked. It was fine. I think that film suffers from the Carnage being so serious at the same time, though. If he had a bit of goofiness to him, maybe it would have worked, and I think it would have been fine. But I'll say this, though, Callum. Watching this third film, fuck it, watching all these 3 movies, I'm proud to say I have the Venom hot toy, because I've really enjoyed my time with these films.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to amount to anything in the future. They're not going to be, I don't think they're going to be connected to anything, or, you know, I don't even know if we'll get Tom Hardy back as Eddie Brock Venom. But I had a fucking great time, and I'm going to have some really good memories with these films.
Yeah, and, you know, we're doing a spoiler-ish discussion. Let's point out the big thing now. Venom dies. Not Eddie Brock. Venom. So, you know, we know he left a little bit of himself in the MCU. We know there was a little bit of him left at the end of the film in the post-credit scene. Do you think we're going to see him again? Do you think they're going to try connect this to the MCU, which we both agree don't do that?
I think that post-credit scene was Sony being stupid. Now I know this information, that Venom's been shredding. Obviously, he shredded in the second film. That was the whole point of that film. But in the post-credit scene, he shreds again. I don't even think that's like a Venom. Like, it's a symbiote, but I don't think it's Venom.
What
I
are
think
you saying? Was just...
What?
Shredding?
Yeah.
Shedding?
Oh, whatever. Shedding. Well, I mean, shit.
I thought you meant it was like playing a guitar or something, like...
I mean, he wasn't playing a guitar, but he had some dance moves.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Shedding.
Shredding on the dance floor.
So... Yes. So I think that post-credit scene where that symbiote is in the MCU, whatever it may be, it's starting to make me think like Sony planted that there not for the reason that we think, where it's like, oh, Venom's going to get in contact with Spider-Man kind of thing. It's now starting to feel like it's a case of, oh no, he's just shedding. And we wanted to set that up for this third film because the whole point of him is he shedded all these symbiotes, and there's a big climax and all these things. But then you could argue that as well, because at the end of Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, they make it very apparent that Venom knows who Spidey is. because he
Yes,
knows who Peter
because
is.
the interesting thing, he's connected through a hive mind or something, isn't he, of different multiverses, Venoms. So he's clearly got memories of a Spider-Man killing him in Spider-Man 3, for example.
Yeah,
So that I always thought that
I
was interesting, but
I thought it was a very interesting thing that he said that, but it also felt like a very big throwaway line.
well, they went
Um,
nowhere with it. So
Literally, yeah. Obviously, we got like a mention of Venom in No Way Home with Toby talking about his experience with his version of Venom. That's really it, connecting wise. Um, I don't know whether they're going to go forward with this. Tom Hardy said this is the final Venom film. The box office as well. It's done okay
it's done all
so
right.
far, but it's the weaker out of the two.
Yeah, out of the three, it's not done the best. It's
Yeah.
done all right. It's done all right internationally. US domestic, it's the lowest opening, but it's that's whatever. Like I wasn't expecting a lot from this, and I was satisfied after watching it. So that's all you can say. What we're gonna score this? Out of 10, Kyle. What would you give it?
I'm giving it a 7.5.
Oh shit, son, that's high. Like
Just it is a bad film, but
yeah,
I think if I went in expecting something serious, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, it didn't meet that expectation. But I didn't have that. I went hoping for a dumb fun Venom film, and it hit the spot for me. So that's where my stance is on it.
it it was a dumb fun Venom film. That's right. So I'd give it I'd knock it down a point from yours. I'd give it like a 6.5.
I mean, if you're rating the plot itself and the sort of premise around it,
Yeah,
it's like a 3. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But as a package, as a movie,
Well, that's what I'm
you know,
taking into account. It's that, but how it made me feel watching it. I was smiling, laughing the whole time, and I never felt
yeah, that's the
bored.
thing as well. I think Tom Hardy's done a really great job, sort of, becoming this character and being Eddie Brock, having to deal with the symbiote Venom. Because, like, even in the when he's in the back of the van, the Volkswagen, when he's with Martin and the kid, I just thought, oh, Venom's like talking to him, but we don't see him. But it feels like he's very much
Yeah,
still there, kind of thing. Do you know
you
what I
did
mean?
the
There is
right
still a
thing,
presence.
Eddie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. Well, I think that'll do us. Go out and see Venom if you want. If you liked the first two, you'll like this one. That's as easy as I could say it, really. Um, I don't think it's a dip in quality from the others. I think there are.
I'd say it's a dip in quality for the plot.
Yeah, yeah, but no. It's. I was smiling the whole time. That's all I can tell you, really. But what does my opinion mean? Not a right lot. Nothing. Right. Yeah. Right, guys. That'll do us. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you thought of Venom: The Last Dance. He did dance in the film, confirmed. Just
Literally, yeah.
literally. So, yeah.
Also, I've been seeing a lot of it's all just sort of marketing, but I've seen a lot of videos. You know those like you see those memes where it's like someone falling off of like a bed or something, and they're like rolling, but they like cut away the clip and they put it to something else. Normally, it's like an advert that people have been doing it with. They've been doing that for Venom, and it's fucking hilarious. There's like one where I think a chicken gets kicked by a horse, and like I don't know, I think Venom like catches it and eats it, or something like that. Oh no, he changed. Yeah, he changed. It's funny. Go check it out.
You
The
gave
market
away
is
my
funny.
chickens.
Drug lot.
Right. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you when there's some news to report. 'Cause that's what we usually do: movie news, TV news, entertainment news. Kyle, stop playing with fire. You're playing with fire and you're gonna get burned. That's what the police officer said in our school when he came in around bonfire night, actually. And he was like, if you're playing with fireworks, you're playing with fire and you're going to get burnt. And we was all like, I'm not playing with fireworks. We was. All of us was. Right, thanks for watching.
I wasn't.
Yeah, he was.